There have been 2 explosions in the centre of Manchester.
It blew the car apart, ripping through the interior and blasting the driver's door across the street.
More than 60 people have been injured and thousands evacuated from offices and shops.
Was shot numerous times after UVF gunmen opened fire.
Anti-terrorist officers said it was the work of the IRA, and they deliberately made warnings confusing.
Northern Ireland was given the chance of a new beginning. The agreement had been reached after nearly 2 years of talks, after 30 years of conflict, after thousands of violent deaths and centuries of bitterness.
What is a mugblood? The term mugblood comes from the creepy-themed books written by J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter. As a child, I worshipped the books as if they were real. Perhaps I just loved the idea of mythical creatures and magical powers, or maybe it's just because I could relate to each of the characters. Mugblood in Harry Potter means half wizard and half muggle. The reason I can relate to this is because I too am half Catholic, half Protestant.
I grew up in Uri, which was a predominantly, 99% predominantly nationalist town, which was, I suppose it was full of Republican sympathisers and border smugglers.
Well, I lived in a very segregated community. It was basically what I would call a single community, and that it was, I think, almost 97-98% Protestant. The town I lived in was Portadown. There were about 20,000 people in it. There were a lot of bad elements in it. There were a lot of Ulster freedom fighters, so there was lots about the town I wouldn't have been particularly proud of. The town itself was fortified in that there were 2 barriers at either end of the town. So if you wanted to go in or out of the town, be it by car or on foot, you had to go through these barriers.
In 1972, I vividly remember the Bloody Sunday March in Derry, Londonderry. There were 13 people killed. I remember my mother crying hysterically in our kitchen. I thought, like most Catholics, we thought civil war was imminent.
I believed as I was growing up that Protestants were good and that Catholics were fundamentally bad. But I think the reason I thought that was that I kind of tarred everyone with the same brush. So in my mind, the IRA, Roman Catholics, Catholicism were all one and the same thing, and clearly they're not.
The problems of initially going out with Wendy when we were in our late teens were there were several issues.
For me, I think one of the biggest challenges was really explaining how I felt to my father.
Family. My father was a lot of his good friends had been interned, imprisoned for Republican sympathisers, and he was naturally very suspicious of the Protestant state.
And I actually don't blame him for the way he felt himself. He had been brought up. He was basically a product of his upbringing, of his environment, and he really was entrenched in an Orange tradition, which he was very proud of. He always felt Northern Irish, not Irish.
In terms of how Northern Ireland has changed from the 70s to the present day, I'd say today it is such a multicultural society that we live in. In the 70s there was Protestants and there was Catholics. Now there are so many different nationalities that have come and are living and working here in Northern Ireland now, that it is much more acceptable for multicultural relationships, and there's a greater tolerance with the diversity, and I think the future is much brighter for Northern Ireland as we move forward. Hi, my name is Manus O'Hagan. I live in Uri, a predominantly nationalist town. I am a Roman Catholic.
And I'm married to Manus. My name is Wendy O'Hagan. I was born Wendy Beatty, and I grew up in a town called Portadown.